Hello everyone, in this video, we will continue modeling chess pieces using Blender 2.79. First, let's focus on fixing the rook. Select the ring of vertices and press V to split the edge. With the mouse over the top part, press L to select the linked vertices. Press X to delete them. Scale the ring down using S. Then, press E to extrude and S to scale down. Fill the hole using the grid fill option. In face select mode, select the faces and press E followed by Z to extrude them in the Z-axis. Press S, then Z, and finally 0 to flatten the faces. To add some edge loops, use Ctrl and R in each part. Select all the new edges and bevel them using Ctrl and B. Add an edge loop in a specific place and bevel it. Now the rook is finished. Let's move on to making a bishop. Press B for the box select option and select the lower part of the rook. Move it in the X-axis to the bishop's position. Press Ctrl and P to unlink the meshes from each other. Enter edit mode, press O to enable proportional editing, and move some rings of edges to match the shape of the bishop. Remember to adjust the size of the circle to have better control. Select the top ring and press E to extrude it up in the Z-axis. Scale it down to match the size in the reference image. Add 3 edge loops using Ctrl and R and the number 3, then scale them down. Now, all we need to do is extrude with E in the Z-axis, add some edge loops with Ctrl and R, and scale them to match the shape. When scaling, press S and Shift plus Z to scale only in the X and Y axes. Extrude the upper ring to a specific position and scale it. Delete the selected vertices. Select the two vertices and drag them by pressing G twice. Select the vertices on the top and press F to create a face. Select the four vertices and press F to create another face. Select an edge only and press F to fill all the holes with faces. Create an edge loop in the center and connect the two vertices by selecting them and pressing J. Select all the new faces and press I to inset them. Add some edge loops and move them to correct the shape. Now, let's continue with extruding and scaling. Select the edges and bevel them using Ctrl and B. Next, we move on to modeling the queen. Press B for the box select option and select the lower part of the bishop. Move it in the X-axis to the queen's position. Press Ctrl and P to unlink the meshes from each other. Enter Edit mode, press O to enable proportional editing, and move some rings of edges to match the shape of the queen. Remember to adjust the size of the circle for better control. Select the top ring and press E to extrude it up in the Z-axis. Scale it down to match the size in the reference image. Add an edge loop using Ctrl and R and scale it down. Extrude the top face, scale it, and move it down. With the ring selected, press Shift and S and choose Cursor to selected. Press Shift and A to add a UV sphere, then decrease the number of segments to 16 and the rings to 8. Scale it down to the right size. Select the middle ring and press V to split edges. When the mouse is over the lower part of the sphere, press L to select it and delete it. Select the two rings of edges and press spacebar to search for the Bridge Edge Loops option. Select another ring and switch to Vertex Select mode. From the Select menu, choose Checker Deselect and scale it down. Reselect the ring and increase the mean crease value to 1. Add some edge loops to make the shape sharper. Delete the top vertices and extrude the ring to create the top ball shape. Move the edges to improve the shape. Select the edges and bevel them using Ctrl and B. Now, the Queen is finished. Let's move on to the King. Press B for the box select option and select the lower part of the Queen. Move it in the X-axis to the King's position. Press Ctrl and P to unlink the meshes from each other. Enter Edit mode, press O to enable proportional editing, and move some rings of edges to match the shape of the King. Remember to adjust the size of the circle for better control. Add an edge loop, scale it down, and bevel it. Select the top ring and press E to extrude it up in the Z-axis. Scale it up to match the desired shape. Add an edge loop and scale it down. Extrude the top ring, scale it down, and move it up slightly. Continue extruding, scaling down, and moving up, then extrude and scale. Select the edge, bevel it, add an edge loop, and scale it down. Extrude the upper edge, scale it down, then scale it down only in the Y-axis using S and Y. Now, we continue with extruding and scaling to create the shape. The reference image doesn't show the shape from a good angle, so we create a similar shape. Extrude some faces for the center part, scale them in the X-axis. Add some edge loops to correct the shape. Select the edges and bevel them to create a sharper shape. And that's it. This is the result. In the next video, we will focus on modeling the night. Stay tuned.